Sant'ivo della Sapienza, made by Borromini in the Baroque era. Borromini's life. Borromini was born on September 26, 1599, and his birth name was Francisco Castelli. He was the son of a stonemason, and so his father introduced him to stone cutting and design as he grew up. He moved to Milan to further study his craft. He took a debt due to his father and moved to Rome in 1619, where he worked on buildings. He continued to work as a stonemason until he established himself. He then changed his name to Borromini and became an architect. He had a high temper, which led to the loss of some jobs along the way. He was a self-taught scholar and had a large book collection by the end of his life. He died August 2nd, 1667. He committed suicide, and he suffered from depression and nervous disorders. History of Sant'ivo. Sant'ivo was the University of Rome. It was a palace with a massive courtyard and chapel. Borromini was commissioned to build a spectacular church while incorporating the existing huge courtyard. The university was called La Sapienza, and the saint in which the church wanted to be dedicated to was Saint Yves. This is the origin of the name Sant'ivo della La Sapienza. Baroque architect style. The Baroque style of architecture was new and unique and began in the late 16th century. It took the main principles of Roman architecture and was also influenced by the Renaissance period. Baroque architecture created ornate, complex designs that were never seen before. It manipulated and used lighting, shapes, and different combinations of designs, incorporating these elements into genius floor plans on the interior and exterior of buildings. The style was created to draw attention to the presence of palaces and churches belonging to the Roman Catholic Church of Italy to show their power and wealth. Borromini's architect style. He studied from Michelangelo and the ruins of Roman architectures and other ruins from before his time. Throughout the years, Borromini developed a very distinctive, inventive style that made him stand out, setting him apart from other architects at the time. He applied a classical Roman style of architecture with his own unique Baroque style, which was very detailed. There was always something new he would create, and the details were spectacular yet irregular. He designed very geometrical buildings and had an exceptional understanding of structures compared to his colleagues. He had amazing sketches and floor plans, and this is one of the reasons why he had such good understandings of his buildings. Sant'ivo and Borromini. Borromini was commissioned to complete the University of Rome's 14th century chapel and its courtyard, beginning in 1642. Like many of his works, it was influenced by Roman architecture. Borromini stressed the external and internal perspectives of the building. He wanted the building to be very detailed and everything to be perfect. He also used a lot of symmetry. The dome showed Borromini's different and distinctive style. Many of the other architects during the Baroque era built domes, but they weren't as inventive and as in-depth as Sant'ivo's. The central part of the church is very different and unique. It uses extremely ornate, complex designs which would not normally be done in churches before the Baroque period of architecture. Sant'ivo exterior. The external layout is rectangular and the face of the building's exterior is concave, which molds the church into the courtyard. A key exterior focal point is a spiral staircase at the top of the church. Then a laurel wreath, bronze orb, dove, and crucifix, all balanced on top of a very unconventional steeple of this church. The interior design motives are incorporated to the exterior, such as the use of stars, columns, pediments, dentils, and many other Roman architecture hallmarks. He also combines concave and convex areas of the building to join in harmony and continue the flow of the exterior. The building's sides of the courtyard are very symmetrical. Interior. Borromini causes the columns to fuse together into geometrical shapes to create curves of spectacular design. His blending of curves and rough cut-off shapes are a unique signature of his architectural style. He chose small windows according to scale of the church to allow the flow of sunlight through the interior, with a unique oculus at the peak of the dome to stream more light through the ceiling focal point. Strong use of hexagons throughout the church are used to create symmetry and distinguish the different areas of Sant'ivo. They all connect to a rotunda. Corinthian pillars embellish the altar with alternating concave and convex walls leading your eyes to the altar. Beautifully shaped angels are framed in pediments, and pieces of gold are used sparingly. Most details of the architectural design have never been done before. Symbolism embellishes Sant'ivo. From the start to finish of Sant'ivo, many popes have reigned. Back in the 16th and 17th century, popes of Rome came from very influential, wealthy families, and they had a family crest or symbol that they wanted Borromini to work into the church's design. Some very late into the project. Some examples are the bee, the laurel wreath, a dove, and the many stars you see lining the dome above the altar. Borromini also worked in his symbolism beliefs, such as the Star of Solomon and the floor plan itself. Some we may never know. Facts about Borromini and Sant'ivo. This is one of the greatest masterpieces of the Baroque architectural period, and it could never be duplicated. Borromini's organization and thought process of unconventional symmetrical proportions using geometrical shapes and the use of equilateral triangles shows great genius and advanced mathematical knowledge for his time period. Baroque architecture became very popular and spread through Europe and Latin America in the late 16th to 17th centuries. As I said before, this church was commissioned to be dedicated to Saint Yves, which is Sant'ivo in Italian, and a portrait in memory of him lies at the center of the altar. Saint Yves of Brittany is the patron saint of lawyers and abandoned children. Today, this sacred Baroque 16th to 17th century masterpiece holds the archives of the city of Rome. It is visited by many tourists around the world and is still being appreciated for its brilliant architecture.